Your kids take PE in school, a required class specifically designed for their physical health. Well, my next guest is advocating for a different kind of curriculum. He wants all kids, all children, to learn social health. Author David Kozlowski believes our nation's youth mental health crisis is not a mental health problem. Instead, it's a social health problem that has very serious mental health side effects. He's going to help us improve our children's social health today. Welcome, David, back to Studio 5.
Thank you for having me.
I love that you've identified this, and I love that you are leading out and lending your voice and your expertise as a therapist to help kind of structure this conversation in what feels like a really sensible direction. This social health journey for you started back in 2010. Yeah. You and some local youth came together. You came up with a social health as a way to kind of correct this mental health crisis. Give us some background on that.
Yeah, so a lot of people, if you're unfortunate to have known a loved one that struggled with mental health, or maybe one of your own kids that struggle with mental health, that typically the way mental health works is like, for example, if someone's suicidal, they'll be sent to a mental health hospital. Mm-hmm. After leaving the hospital, they'll come home and they could be in math class the next morning. Mm. There's a big gap in between helping someone not die and then giving them to day-to-day treatment, help, support, which is difficult for mental health professionals because we don't see kids that often. You know who sees kids more often? Their teachers, schools. Mm. That's where we should start.
That's where rubber meets the road.
That's where rubber meets the road.
I guess I should ask, if I can take 2 steps back, how do you define social health?
So social health is one's ability to build, maintain, and improve mutually beneficial relationships in all these following categories, but not limited to: family, friends, online relationships, peer relationships, of course, relationships with technology, not just online, but the actual devices. Then on top of it, relationship with your environment. Kids are going to have social anxiety in certain situations, but not other situations. Depends on who's in the environment, if they're outdoors, indoors. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, the relationship with yourself. Having a relationship with yourself, you bring that relationship to every other relationship in your life. And so those are the core foundations of social health, is mutual beneficial for all those relationships.
Where did we go wrong? Like, where did this link fall out of chain? I mean, we can point to social media and recognize all of the ways that has impacted, not usually for the good, our face-to-face human relationships. But where do you think that turn came where social health became missing?
Well, unfortunately, and this is no knock on any system like the mental health system or the education system, usually people have a problem and then they try to fix the problem. Mm. So for example, mental health, you need to have, like, no one comes and sees me because they got nothing better to do.
Because things are fine and they want to be preventative.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So there's got to be a problem, so we diagnose and then we treat said problems. Mental health as an industry was never set up to prevent mental health problems from ever happening. Now, mental health has had to do that in recent years. We've had to kind of
catch up.
We had to kind of reverse engineer it and go back, but it's a different discipline. Thankfully, in the past 20 years, we have so much research from UCLA, from Harvard, BYU, and John Hopkins 2 years just released with Harvard a research that said 91% of the reasons why youth are becoming suicidal, they listed it with 4 different things. Drama in the home, constant fighting between parents and siblings, online drama, bullying, those types of things, drama with peers at school, and not having a father figure present in the home. What do all those have in common? They're all relationships. So we missed it because it was too simple. The only reason why I saw it is because I'm dumb, and I'm not joking. I went to graduate school, I played football at the University of Utah, I had concussion issues. I was in a coma. I had a brain disorder where I could not remember the things I was learning. So when I got into my private practice, all this stuff from school wasn't really accessible to me. I was really struggling. And so I thought, well, how am I going to be a good therapist for these kids? And I thought, well, just do what I always do. Just make them feel comfortable. So as I started to make kids feel comfortable, I became a good therapist because they told me what was really going on. See, I specialize with kids that have seen multiple therapists, that have gone to multiple hospitalizations. So I was getting people that were already so downtrodden, struggling so bad, and families that have tried everything, that they're like, okay, well, we'll try this new thing that you're talking about. And what I was talking about is sometimes the best therapist is an uncle or an aunt, is a school teacher, is a coach. And what I mean by that, not a licensed therapist, but the best person to make you feel better is someone you trust and you have a close, intimate relationship with. Yeah. And fortunately, all the research again has showed that we have evolved to be as humans, we've evolved to be social. This is in our DNA. So we miss social health, I think, because it was so simple. It was too easy to see.
I'm not going to ever forget that headline. We missed it because it was so simple. Like, we assumed it was happening. We assumed it would happen. We assumed those connections naturally fall into place, but they take work and they take effort. And if our society isn't structured to naturally support those,
there you go.
Our homes need to be.
The greatest thing, one of the biggest things in the book that I think people will be surprised, I don't want to give too much of it away, but this has actually been done before. We've created a whole new part of our education system after we found out as the United States that it could actually hurt us physically.
Yeah. You mentioned the book. This is so exciting. Tell us what you hope readers take away from this.
Well, what I hope they take away from it is one of the things that I just got done saying is that if we want to protect our families, our communities, our schools, our country, the United States a long time ago found out 1/3 of the U.S. military, when drafted during the Civil War, but after the Civil War and World War I, found out that they were unphysically fit to do the job. So we put physical education into school districts. We've put physical education as a huge priority, as a core curriculum. Then on top of it, we created the Presidential Fitness Award. We did all that so to protect ourselves from our enemies. I'm in this book telling people we need to do the same thing with our relationships because every great country has fallen from within. I want to protect us from ourselves. With technology and the advancements we have, we're not going to stop using our phones. We're not going to stop getting online. Anyone who's saying, hey, let's stop this, let's stop that, good luck with that. It's kind of already got a life of its own. So if we want to be able to protect our children, we got to help them be competent in the most important thing, which is their relationships. So I believe K through 12, that's what the whole entire book is about. It should be a core class and curriculum. Fortunately, because of Harriman High School, I've been working on this for 4 years. Other schools in the state of Utah are actually getting on board with it. They're starting to see that if you want to improve your mental health, the thing that decreases mental health or improves it is your relationships.
That's an exciting wave that you're pushing forward. The home certainly has a huge place in this as well. And you've got some suggestions for parents on ways they can form those connections and those relationships and strengthen those kind of from the inside out, meaning our homes to society. First, you say parents should introduce purposeful struggle.
Yes. So getting back to the whole entire social health thing, what I'm about to tell you right now, what I talk about, if you follow anything I'm doing, you read the book, everyone that listens to this should be like, oh, I do something like that. We do something like that. The problem is we don't have a name for it. What if we said, hey, I put out fires every now and then. Yeah, let's get together a team and put out fires. That wouldn't stop fires. We need a fire department. We need a health system. So in that purposeful struggle, if parents, and this has been tested by lots of my clients and people follow my podcast, there's something simple you can do at the dinner table or gatherings that allow everybody to get a chance to talk about their day, what they're going on, so they're sharing about relationships with themselves, with school, with math, their teachers. And the way you do it is a fun game so that when kids get used to talking about simple things throughout the day, when the hard stuff comes, they already have greased the wheels. They're ready to talk about the deeper things. But you can't go from dry dinner conversations or everybody on their phones at dinner to all of a sudden, now let's talk about the most important things in life. That's too big of a jump.
What's the game?
So the game is called Highs, Lows, Bison and Buffaloes.
Okay, I know highs and lows. What's bison and buffaloes?
Bison and buffaloes is an evolution. So all the families that I teach this to, they come back and they give me better versions of the games that I give them. Okay. So what this game is the dad, the mom, whoever's the oldest in the family, the oldest to youngest, they go first and say, hey, you know, I had a tough day at work, whatever it may be. Mom goes all the way down, right? So when everybody talks about their highs and their lows, they get it. This is good, this is bad. But the buffaloes and the bison and the buffalo came from a family, it was actually a friend of mine that I taught this, it wasn't even a client. They said the kids wanted to say something random about their day. So they just came up with buffalo. The kids said, let's just call it buffalo. So highs, lows, and buffalo. Then they said, well, sometimes we have really hard things that we're embarrassed to talk about. It's a low, but we really don't want to talk about it. But then it's kind of a high because we went through it, we got stronger because of it. So one of the kids came home from school and said, Mom, we learned in school bison, when there's a storm, they stop and they turn and they go into the storm. So the bison is like, what's something that you want to give yourself a pat on the back? Like, I went through something hard today. So it was hard, so it was a low, but it ended up good, so it was high. So that's the bison.
So bison, something I went through that made me stronger and better, and buffalo, just random.
Some funny, they get to crack a joke with family. Oh, me and my friends, you know, saw this funny meme. We all laughed. We couldn't stop laughing. We started crying, right? It's just buffalo.
Now, here's the full circle moment. We're talking about dinner time conversation, a really simple action, but you believe it has profound benefits.
Yeah, our ancestors, my main, even though my name doesn't show it, I'm from, my grandmother's Polynesian. She was the one that raised me. And sitting down and preparing food, we've lost that ancestral connection to our food. Plain and simple. It's too fast, too simple, too easy. So everybody knows you should sit down and have as many meals as you can. Well, sit down and have a meal can sound like this. Hey, what's up? Nothing. How was your day? Fine.
Clink, clink of the fork on the plate.
If the leaders of the family, they start to say, here's my day, they're looking, Dad was stressed. Oh, maybe dad wasn't mad at me, he was just in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Mom was having a good day. Oh, that's why she brought me my favorite snack after a class
Yeah.
day, because she's in a good mood. We're learning social competency. Reading body language and facial expressions is not easy to do, but if you can turn on your mind reader, according to Matthew Lieberman, psychologist from UCLA, he said we're the only animals that can accurately read other animals' minds. So if we can get better at mind reading, which is good social health,
Sure.
then we're gonna get better at not saying stupid things, not pissing people off, not causing a problem when there doesn't need to be a problem.
Yeah. I really appreciate your energy and your passion and the research you've put into this idea of this curriculum. Where can people get the book?
So on Amazon, it should be available when this comes out. There's technical difficulties currently. I think it might have to do with a little bit of flag on the cover. If you read the book, the flag's upside down, because flags are only put upside down if there's dire distress or someone's in danger.
It's symbolic.
It's symbolic as our youth, it becomes socially unhealthy and it's not their fault. We created this shift in technology, so it's up to us to create a system to counteract it.
All right. If not on Amazon, we can link through your website, I'm sure.
No, it's going to be on Amazon.
It will be on
Either
Amazon.
the pre-sale or sale. I just don't
Okay.
know. And then Audible, we'll have all that stuff on there. Audible will be about a week or two out.
Okay. Thank you so much, David.
you
We
very much.
appreciate the work that you're
Okay.
doing.